All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. In today's video, we saw a lot of fun stuff in their loss today, 24-23 against the Detroit Lions, rematch of regular season week 1 last year. But obviously, it's just preseason, so I'm messing around. Xavier Worthy had a phenomenal game. I think Nico Remigio might have just solidified his spot, or he might have just straight up made this roster here. I think he was on the outside looking in. However, special teams is a huge component, and that's what he balled his ass off today. I kind of felt like Nico was trending upward the entire camp, and we just wanted to see it come to fruition in preseason, and that's exactly what we saw, especially today. And then there were guys like Kadarius Toney literally had 2 penalties on 1 play. The thing is, he's getting paid so much money. I think it's what, $2.5 million to play for you guys next season, even if he gets cut after the preseason. Like, it just feels, I think Kadarius is a lock to make this roster, even though he shouldn't. But we're going to run through it all because, folks, literally, Xavier Worthy just did a phenomenal game. Just did a phenomenal job, whether it was Carson Wentz or Patty Mahomes. The Kansas City Chiefs offense, that receiving room looks extremely deep, and we're going to talk about it. Jaden Hicks, also another rookie who had a phenomenal game today. And yeah, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs, but before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. We try and post as much Chiefs videos on this channel as humanly possible. But Chiefs fans, if we try and get this video to 100 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. So we got started off. Patrick Mahomes in the first team offense, they got a bunch of run today, 8 of 14, 93 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, nothing too crazy for Patrick Mahomes. We did end up seeing 4 quarterbacks play today, but we have to talk about Xavier Worthy because he had a beautiful 39-yard catch, and then he also had a beautiful touchdown where he was wide open from Carson Wentz. He did do a little bit of a double clutch. The ball hit his hands. He didn't really, I wouldn't say bobble is the right word, but touched his hands, it popped up for like a split second, and it was right back in his arms. So he had first touchdown, first catch. We saw him rush a little bit today. I think it was like 11 yards, first down from Xavier Worthy. This is huge because, and he did have a fumble. He recovered it, or the Chiefs recovered it. But that is, one, there's 2 concerns you can have with Xavier Worthy. His size, just being hit and losing the football, which is what we saw today, or not necessarily because of his size, but you get what I'm saying. He's a small dude. He's a skinny dude because he's extremely fast. And as we wait for him to, kind of bulk up into the NFL, he might take some hits. And, there's just the question mark is, can he survive a full season of his rookie season or his full rookie season staying healthy? That's number one. And then, those kind of go hand in hand, just staying healthy, staying on the field because of that body. And I guess people have concerns with drops. I don't particularly have that. I think all rookies, all receivers, when you come into the league, I think you're going to have a drop here or there. But for the most part, man, Xavier Worthy, his day one impact, you can see it. You can see the speed clearly, but you can see the potential. You can see the playmaking. And we especially saw that today, whether he was running the football, whether it was yards after catch, or just getting himself open. Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, and Rashee Rice is a really good wide receiver room. And, obviously Hollywood Brown didn't play today, but Rashee Rice, 4 catches, 35 yards. Also, real quick, I believe this was from Aladukin. Cornell Powell, 64-yard touchdown catch. Now, unfortunately, as far as the depth chart's concerned, I've got him here on your official depth chart as wide receiver number 10, but he could fly up that list. Folks, the top 6 receivers, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, Rashee Rice, all locks. Justin Watson, McCole Hardman, Sky Moore, Nico Remigio, Kadarius Toney, Justin Ross. Justin Ross, unfortunately, no catches on the day today. We do this every preseason. We do this every single offseason for the last 2 seasons. The hype is there. He had a beautiful catch, just a really difficult catch, but unfortunately 1 foot was out of bounds. That's not on Justin Ross in any way, shape, or form, in my opinion, but it was a beautiful catch. I just wish Kadarius wasn't getting paid all this money because I know a lot of Chiefs fans want KT cut, they want Sky Moore cut, and they want Remigio and Justin Ross to make that roster for the wide receiver room. But speaking of Nico Remigio, he did have a couple of catches for a couple of yards. What we saw today from the return game has you licking your chops. 42-yard punt return. He was absolutely amped up. I was also myself absolutely amped up. And I don't know, I just kind of had that feeling that he just made the roster, or if he, was kind of on the, just barely on the outside, the last four in March Madness. I feel like that might have just solidified him there. 42-yard punt return, 31-yard kick return as well. Now, what is interesting is Sky Moore also had a phenomenal game, but he only returned kicks today. 2 returns, 71 yards, including a 43 long, 35.5 yards per kick return. I apologize if that sounded how I think it sounded. Sky Moore did a really good job on his 2 kick returns, something to keep an eye on heading into this final preseason game. Carson Steele, I think he made a lock on making the roster last season. This dude is extremely versatile, whether it's fullback, whether it's catching footballs, whether it's running out of, just being a running back, whether it's returning kicks. We saw him today get one 36 yards. It's just really intriguing, and it's really exciting because, the first couple of games, it feels like, honestly, pretty much every preseason game I've been watching, we've been watching a ton of preseason over here. I have not seen a kick return unit like I did from the Kansas City Chiefs today. In total, they had 6 returns for 192 yards, averaging 32 yards per return. I mean, that's an unbelievable statistic. Sky Moore led, Carson Steele, 36-yarder, Nico Remigio, 31-yarder. Brooks had a 27-yarder, and then Luis Reed-Sam had a 27-yarder as well. Folks, I don't know what's going on with LRZ in the sense of making this roster here. Special teams was going to be huge for him. He was the first return, if I'm not mistaken. And he, had a nice little broken tackle, juke move, and he got to 27 yards. But we're not seeing this guy get touches out of the backfield. And even if he was, the second and third team offensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs, it's not the same. It's not nearly close to the first team. So I feel like every running back who goes out there for the first or the second and third team at the halfback position, I just feel like they kind of struggle. And you had Deneric Prince, who had a phenomenal statistical game, 7 carries for 47 yards. That's 6.7 yards per rush. But he had a 41-yard rush. So, outside of that, what is that? Six attempts, 6 yards. That has nothing to do with Prince. He's an absolute beast. That's actually going to make, LRZ making this roster a little bit more difficult because of Pacheco, CEH. But I just think it's a good example of first string offensive line compared to the second and third team offensive line. But we did not see a single rushing attempt for LRZ. I'm not the GM. I'm not a coach. I just don't think it's looking good for him, which really sucks because the storyline is beautiful. But once again, I'm not a coach. So what the hell do I know? As far as that, we kind of ran out of time. I did want to talk about this defense. I really want to talk about Jaden Hicks because this dude is a freaking dog and he's going to be day one contributor. But we ran out of time. Let me know if you guys want a defensive video. We'll get that out to you in the next couple of days from this preseason game. But I hope you enjoyed it. Hit that like button. Hit that sub button if you haven't already. Guys, give me your thoughts. Did Nico Remigio just make this roster? Give me any thoughts on any roster bubble guys down below. Thanks for watching.